Let's talk about writing for the web. So let's first talk about how do we know how people read the web, and then how do we decide how we write for that. So this week you are reading some information put together by Jacob Nielsen. Jacob Nielsen is a usability expert. He is a usability researcher. So he does research into how people read and use the web. And he's conducted multi-user, multi-year research. So I just want to give you a background in how we know this. It's not that you're reading suggestions that someone thinks are a good idea. You're reading suggestions based on research. And the research that these suggestions come from is typically eye tracking research. So this device that you see in this picture is an eye tracking headset. We have the technology to understand and record what people are looking at. So you can fit this eye tracking device onto a person's head and have them look at something, whether it's a printed out piece of paper, a website, a tablet, a mobile phone, or an airplane cockpit, and you can understand what the person is looking at. And from that, you can try to understand what people find important, what they spend time on, and try to get a picture of sort of what attracts attention. So back in the very first week of this class, you read a selection from David Meerman Scott's The New Rules of Marketing and PR, and you watched a lecture video in which I talked about the difference between mass media, kind of the old model of media, and new media and social media, a newer model. So in mass media, which we can often think of as sort of traditional old print publications, we're talking about media that's author-driven. It's pre-packaged. Gatekeepers select some options and they give it to the reader, and the reader is sort of given just a small set from which to select. Whereas on the web and with social media and new media, the content is really user-driven because users find it. The user approaches this kind of media as being they're in control. They see it as customizable. They feel that they have an unlimited number of options. They're self-selecting what they want to look at and searching for the information. So I talked about earning an audience, and I said, the problem with advertising on the internet is that you can't make people pay attention to you. You have to earn their eyeballs. You have to earn their attention. And with the web, that's exactly what's happening. People are in control. They're self-selecting what they look at. You can't force their attention. So print versus the web. With print, it's gate-kept. It's author-driven, prepackaged. With the web, it's user-driven. Users are in control, and we have to earn their attention. So the mindset a reader brings to the computer when they're browsing the internet is so much different from their mindset when they pick up a printed product like a newspaper or a magazine. Online, people are searching and browsing, which you've studied previously. In print, that's not what's happening. So how do people read print? Well, if you have taken J103, you know that people tend to scan the page in a Z-shaped pattern on first look. There's 3 types of readers: scanners, samplers, and comprehensive readers. Comprehensive readers, you'll remember, read every word or all parts of a page. Samplers look around for different parts that they read. Scanners are just looking for bold words, things that jump out at them. They're sort of scanning the page, looking for anything of interest. How do people read the web? Well, this is what you're reading about this week. The answer is they really don't read the web, at least not at first. People scan websites, and what that means is that they're scanning the page looking for information or hints for information that might be valuable. So a person has an idea of what they want. I want information on X. I want to find the cheapest car in my area to buy. I want to find the best pair of leggings. I want to find a group that will help me network to find my dream job. People are scanning for information, and they already know what kind of information they want to find. Now, we know that people typically scan in an F-shaped pattern. So when people are looking at websites, they sort of look at the left, their eye glances to the right, they keep doing that pattern, but the further they get down on the page, the less they look. So you're looking at a heat map here. This is the output of eye tracking. Wherever there is red, that is where people have glanced and paid attention. As it fades out to blue, they've spent less time or made fewer glances, and as it fades out to the sort of that gray, they're not looking at all. So you can see where attention is focused on websites, and it's typically in an F-shaped pattern. And this means that people are seeing the first words of everything, the first words of the headline, the first words of the article, bullet points, subheads. They're paying attention to the content at the bottom of the page the least. So you don't put important information on your website or in your article last. And what we can gather from this is that we want to create what's called an information scent. Because web readers are scanning, they're only looking at a few items on every page. They're not actually reading. They're just looking for pieces of information that jump out at them. So they're scouting the page for something that looks interesting or helpful. So they're going to see headlines, links, subheads, summaries, lists. They're going to see things that jump out that are visually different, or because they're larger, more prominent, more contrasting in type or color. And you want to use those to create the information scent. So whenever you have headlines, links, subheads, summaries, and lists, you really have to get your information in there, because that helps the reader understand, oh yes, this is what I want. I will stay on this page. Because remember, users decide whether or not to stay on a page within 6 to 8 seconds. So within 6 to 8 seconds, you have to provide an information scent that answers their question, lets them know this is the page for them. This has the information that they want. So let's take a look at some examples. Here's an example of the BBC website. This is a home page, and you can see how the information scent is made. So people are looking at what? Photos, graphics first, and then type. Of course, they're going to look at the bigger type, the colorful type. And so here I've highlighted all the areas where people glance. So take 6 seconds, and here's what you're going to see. You're going to see these two men in the picture smiling. You're going to see these boys in the picture to the right smiling at the camera. You're going to see news involving a fire. You're going to see the picture down at the bottom. You're going to see the big text, news, business, sport, technology, sports story. So within just 6 to 8 seconds, here's what you see. Pictures of people, sports story, technology, news, business, sport, culture. This is clearly a news site. You can get that idea within 6 seconds. Let's look at an article page. This is also on the same site, an article page. Same thing. We're going to look at the type that stands out and the graphics. So what do we see? Angry-looking man in a suit. Obviously, this is not a happy story. We see prescription for murder. McNeil trial begins. We see Martin McNeil case, the key players. So within 6 to 8 seconds, you know exactly what this article is about, and you have your question answered, which is, what's going on with McNeil? Oh, well, the trial's begun. We can learn more about the key players. So people don't really read online. They scan and then they may read, but people read much less online than they do in print. So how do we give information to people who aren't paying attention? That's the key question here. We're trying to earn an audience. How do we earn that audience if they're not actually going to read what we provide to them? Well, Nielsen suggests 3 tactics. Employ scannable text, use concise text, and be objective. Let's walk through those one by one. How do you make text scannable? Here's his suggestions. Use bulleted or numbered lists. Use hyperlinks or bold keywords. Use just one idea per paragraph. Use inverted pyramid, which you may remember from some of your writing classes. This is the style in which you go from general to specific. And then use meaningful subheads. So let's look at an example. This is a piece of text from the digital sports production page on the Ball State website. To the left is how it is now. To the right, I've made it scannable. So I've implemented bullet points. I've implemented hyperlinks. I've implemented meaningful subheads. I've implemented bold words. If you take 6 seconds to look at the paragraph on the left, you don't see anything. Nothing jumps out at you. Nothing stands out. On the right, if you just take 6 seconds, in 6 seconds, let's see how much we can learn. Application process, digital sports production, Ball State Sports Link, apply early to the university, resume demo, real examples, letter of recommendation, 500-word essay transcripts. So in 6 seconds, I basically have all the information that I need. And now, if I want more information, I know where it is. So transcripts, I get it. Resume, I get it. What's this essay? Well, I can read that paragraph and do that pretty quickly. So scannable text provides an information set. In order to make your text scannable, also you would never use center text on a website. well, I guess never should not be said, but generally you will not use centered text. Use one color for your text, another color for links. That is it. No fancy colorful, let's make all the things different colors. Consistent size of body copy and display copy. So no making random pieces of type bigger, no making random pieces of type a different color. Anytime you use color or size or boldness, it should be to emphasize a key word or a key piece of information. You want to have concise text. So what this means is that whatever you have from print, if you're going to put it on your website, you're going to make it 40% smaller. So cut 40% out of that. And try to keep 3 sentences per paragraph, and again, 1 idea per paragraph. So here's an example. This is an about paragraph on the left. It's 113 words. On the right, it's much more concise. How have we made it concise? Well, I rewrote this. All I did was take out the BS words, the words that don't mean anything. So here we have a sentence. The purpose of NCHS Live is to provide a gateway. Okay, you don't need to tell me that's the purpose. Just tell me it provides a gateway. So NCHS Live provides a gateway. But actually, let's look at this further. A gateway of multimedia. What is that? What is a gateway of multimedia? I have no idea. So how about this? NCH Lives provides multimedia to our visitors. Okay, much shorter. The website will bring together audio, video. No. Website features audio, video, Twitter, Facebook, Some sources of information will be taken from the newspaper. No. Some information comes from the newspaper. You just want to get rid of any of the words that are not necessary. One major feature of the website is to get users involved. No, that's way too long. The website gets users involved. Making it possible for them to interact. No, facilitating interaction. So cut your words. Anytime you have sloppy language, making it possible for them to interact, rewrite. Tighten. Encouraging interaction, facilitating interaction. You have to pretty much go through word by word and figure out what words can be changed, what strings of words can be said with one word instead of a string. Let's look at objective text. Now, you should be pretty good at objective text. You are in the Department of Journalism. You've had classes on writing, and you've learned objectivity. But objective text just means you're not using marketing language. People online do not fall for marketees. They do not like it. They don't want flowery language. They don't want sales pitches. So keep your text objective. One thing that's interesting about objective text is including hyperlinks actually increases credibility, so it can help your text seem objective. So in this example, on the left, we have an article, a blog post, that talks about sleep deprivation, but it doesn't cite any sources. So what I've done on the right is I've linked to the sources. And what this does is anytime someone questions your source, they click on the link, they see that your source is legitimate, and they have trust in you. So a quick note on hyperlinking, since I just brought it up. Good link text, whenever you're doing hyperlinking, is scannable, concise, and front-loaded. That means that the keywords are first. So if your link is to applying, you don't make the link something like click here to apply. You just put apply or apply here. So put your important word first. They're descriptive, they're free of jargon, and they're predictable. So on the right, we have a really bad example. Click here. Never, ever, ever highlight a link that says click here. People do not trust these. It's like when you get an email and you don't know who it's from and it says click here, you're definitely not going to click it. So do not do this. It would be better to make the link more specific. So we have, that first example, the administration started a new athletic club. For more information, click here. The administration started a new athletic club. Just making started a new athletic club a hyperlink is better. However, it's not front-loaded. If someone just sort of is scanning around the page and they only read a few words, they read the first word of hyperlinks first, so they see started. Started doesn't tell us what this is. So better is to say the administration started a new athletic club and make athletic club the hyperlink. So let's put it all together. Scannable, concise, and objective. On the left, we have information from the Distance Ed site on technology that Distance Ed students need. On the right, I've made it scannable, concise, objective. Take a minute to think about what I've implemented. I have meaningful subheads. I have hyperlinks. I have focused on the user is another key thing here. So in the left, imagine you're a Distance Ed student, which if you're in my online class, you are. You have to figure out what you need for class. Are you going to sit and read all of this on the left? No, you are not. You are a busy person. You do not have time. You are taking classes online because you have a lot going on in your life and you are looking for classes that are convenient for you. You are busy. That's your user persona if you're taking online classes, right? So don't make a user who is busy read all of this. They don't want to. It's inconvenient. On the right, by making it scannable, concise, and objective, you can pretty much understand what you need within 6 to 8 seconds. So you're going to the site, think about you're an online student, and you're going, okay, what technology do I need? High-speed internet, webcam and microphone, Ball State email account, software. Okay, simple, easy breezy. In 6 seconds, I understand pretty much exactly what you need me to get. And if I don't, now I can pick and choose paragraphs. So maybe I understand high-speed internet, I understand webcam and microphone, I understand the email account, but I'm not sure about the software. I can choose to only read this paragraph, and that makes me happy because remember, I'm a busy person. So you're only making me read one paragraph. That's excellent. That makes me feel good about this page and about the information you gave me. So one other thing I wanted to discuss, think back to the week that we did mood boards where you came up with visuals for your site and you came up with some keywords that you wanted to use in your messaging. You're going to implement them in your homepage. So let's talk about homepage writing. You want to do the same thing as what we just covered. You want to create the information sent by having objective, concise, and scannable text. But you also want to make sure that you're getting your messaging, brand promise, which is your primary message, and your strategy words into the textual design. So you created strategy words when you made your mood board. You created messaging and the brand promise and your brand story when you created your content strategy document with your core strategy statement. You want to put those on your homepage. So let's take a look at Goodwill. You'll see that one of their keywords that they use over and over again for their messaging is donate. Another is jobs and work. And you can see how many times in the scannable type they've used donate and jobs. So remember, scannability, people are looking for big, bold words. So within 6 seconds, here's what you see. Map, picture of someone working, picture of a lady, donate jobs, advocate jobs, work, informed. So you get those keywords from your mood board and your messaging in here by making the page scannable. Let's look at Blast Media. They are a social media services. They do public relations, social media, paid media, creative services. So their clients go to their site and they want to know, can this person help me? Or, can this company help me? Can Blast Media help me? And they know in their mind what they want. And so Blast Media just puts it right out there on their page. Public relations, social media, paid media, creative services. That answers the visitor's question immediately. Slingshot SEO, you'll see that they have a primary message right on their site. So I highlighted a couple things here. Agencies. This tells me that this is an agency. And then I have a description. Slingshot SEO is a professional search engine optimization practice. Okay, I don't really even have to read the rest to know what that is. And then finally, Chaotic Moon Studios. Excellent homepage. You really can't get confused here. We design, develop, and deliver the world's best software with the world's biggest brands. So part of their messaging is always the world's best, the world's biggest. They want to be seen as a global leader. So you can see even in their header, we're the best. So they reiterate those words, biggest and best. They reiterate the word world because they want to be seen as an international, world-leading design and development firm. So you want to do the same with your homepage. So this week you are going to be creating a piece of writing for your website, and then you're going to tell me how it's concise, how it's scannable, how it's objective. You're going to tell me how it uses your mood board words. You're going to tell me how it uses your SEO keywords. You're going to tell me how it uses your messaging. So these examples can guide you as you do that.